Welcome to How To for Dermatologists. I'm Neil Bhatia, your host. And this is a series on making some practical decisions based on the opinions of experts and trying to do what's best for our patients. And I'm here with Dr. Brett Coldiron, Dr. Mark Kaufman, and we're going to do some how to improve your coding and reimbursement discussion. And you both are on the forefront of coding and some of the reimbursement issues in dermatology. Brett, tell us about some of the issues with E&M coding.
Well, E&M coding, you got to make sure that your electronic medical record doesn't upbill you, because then you can click enough buttons that you can get a level 4 or 5 visit, but 97% of all E&M visits by dermatologists are level 3 or lower. You need to know that, because if you use too many 4 or 5s, you'll get audited, and it may not stand up. Just because you could click that many things doesn't mean you had to have a level 4 or level 5. So they distinguish on that. The other thing is that the consultation codes are still billable to private insurers, and you should bill them to private insurers if you do a consultation. That is, if you see a patient, you devise a treatment plan, you write a letter back to the provider, and you send them home. That's a consultation, and they're still in the CPT code book, and they should still be paying you for that. And that's much better to bill. It pays more, and they're still a new patient if they come back for something else.
And you've got something new for the audience, the code of the day.
Code of the day. This is the code of the day, 99024. This is for follow-up visits, when you take stitches out, when you call the patient back at night. I want you to make a note in your chart and bill that, because CMS is auditing 9 states right now, including Florida, Kentucky, Louisiana, Nevada, New Jersey, North Dakota, Ohio, Oregon, and Rhode Island. And if you're in one of those states, I want you to use this code frequently. Okay?
For all the codes that are in the 10-day global period.
Because otherwise we're going to take our 10-day globals away. Now, you guys don't know what 10-day globals even are, but I'm telling you, if they take them away, it's going to be a big cut. So if you don't bill an E&M for something else, use this code. You won't get in trouble for using it. It doesn't cost anything.
So you mentioned consultation codes before, which has been out of touch for derms for a while. What do we need to justify that code?
You just need to have a note in a chart that says, saw the patient in consultation, and make sure a note about your findings and your plan go back to the referring physician.
And how important is it to document the time spent, not just with the patient, but on the patient?
Well, you can bill by time. If you spend 45 minutes with a patient, you can bill a level 4. You just have to document on the chart that you had to spend that much face-to-face time with the patient. Some of the conversations get that long, and you could bill level 4, even level 5, but that'd be unusual billing level 5. Wouldn't do it very often.
So, Brett, you do a lot of surgery in your office. What are some of the new soft tissue codes?
Oh, you can bill for lipomas. You can bill for those with these new codes that are scattered throughout the CPT code book. The orthopedic surgeons put these in there. They have a 90-day global built in. They pay much better than a benign excision and layered closure. And I suggest you go through the book and harvest these and put them on your list.
So, Mark, you're doing a lot on the coding for PDT. What's new in photodynamic therapy?
So the coding for photodynamic therapy has changed this year, and it's really important to really know which code you're using and what the qualifications are to use those codes, because as opposed to previous years when we had new codes, this year they kept the old code. So that we still have the old code, but we have 2 new codes in addition to the old code. The old code, the 96567, think of as the code you're going to use if your clinical staff, your MA, is going to do the procedure. But if a qualified healthcare provider is going to do the procedure, an MD, DO, NP, PA, if they're going to do the procedure, then you're going to use one of the 2 new codes. And when I say what they're going to do, I mean they have to actually apply the chemical and turn on the light. So if you're going to just do that the same as the old way, you're going to use the 96573, and if you're going to debride, maybe by curetting or abrading the skin, some hypertrophic AKs prior to applying the chemical, you're going to use the new 96574 code.
And that's independent of light source or?
That's independent of what you're using for light and what chemical you're using, but make sure to use the J codes that are relevant for which chemical you're using. For the 20% ALA, it's J7308, and for the 10% ALA, it's J7345.
And this doesn't apply to daylight PDT at all?
No, not at all.
Excellent. So in our last couple seconds, give us some quick pearls on what we should know. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go back one quickly to the fee schedule changes. What are the updates with that?
One of the main reasons you really need to know what code you're going to use is because the reimbursement has changed this year, and that's because the old code, the 96567, is taking a 15% haircut. But the 2 new codes, the 7.3 and the 7.4 codes, are paying much better than PDT ever paid in the past.
So you're actually going to make money on PDT?
Maybe.
And the lipoma codes, those are based on the size of the lipoma, not the incision length. So if you can work a big lipoma out of a small incision, you can bill for the size of the lipoma. And that's the way to do it.
That's excellent. Well, Brett, Mark, thanks for the how-to on to do some coding, and We'll see you on the next episode of How To for Dermatologists.